Zoilo Libunao was a great man, a truly remarkable man. He was a devoted husband, a loving father, and an inspirational teacher, not only to those fortunate enough to be taught by him, but to family and friends that received his guidance and generosity. Son of Lolo Dominador and Lola Osang, and youngest of 6 siblings to Auntie Pasita, Tito Narding, Tito Elong, Tita Bibang, and Tita Ini, he was able to thrive in education and self-study of music and poetry thanks to the loving support and unconditional sacrifices of his family. Once he was able to afford his own piano, which was not a common possession to have back home, he taught himself how to play. He recited poetry passed down from his father and composed his own to perform and share. To this day, Adam and I have heard only tidbits of these precious compositions of life and lessons and wish there was an existing collection of these. He was in fact quite famous in his hometown of San Miguel, Bulacan, reciting poetry that made you laugh, cry, and swoon. He was known as the handsome teacher and poet on his motorcycle. A triple threat, if I may, of good looks, talent, and cool vibes. Amidst his popularity, he remained devout to his Spiritista faith and continued to be an active member and role model within his church, the Centro Naliwanag. The church, their limitless faith and beliefs have only continued to surpass our own faith in God, the angels, and the saints who continue to watch over us and guide us in their own capacity. Our dad, as a young man, lived quite the bachelor life, always in the spotlight and with a vast array of admirers, but none could compete with his soulmate, our mother, Zoilo Libunao. To this day, I am in awe of how someone so young and successful had the courage and determination to leave all that he knew behind in the Bukid, to start a new life in another country with a new culture, unbeknownst to its language and with the uncertainty of the future. Our mother was in Canada already, sponsored by her brothers Neil and Tony Santa Ana for a little over a year, who are pioneers of the Filipino community in Brampton. When I say pioneers, I mean you could look around and see only farmland and very few houses, the occasional Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kmart, Bargain Heralds, and Fortinos. Our parents wrote letters to one another during this time, no emails, FaceTime, or text. But he did it for love and with the notion and immense faith that this life was written in the stars. Fast forward to their first apartment on Steeles Avenue, their downtown Brampton semi-detached, and finally their Kesteven home, where many of you have frequented in family gatherings, prayers, celebrations, and tea. Our dad let go of his motorcycle cruising ways for a family car, their Chrysler Nova, which I'm pretty sure I got to sit in the front of, sandwiched between our parents because back in the day, that's how we did it. He even joined a bowling league, which, in fun fact, he has his name on a plaque for top scores at Brunswick Bowl. Although he wasn't a man of many words to his children as we were growing up, little did we know that years later we would slowly discover his endearing love and his quiet sacrifice to give us everything we needed. To Adam and I, he was like a military general. Do not step out of line. So by the time we got to learn his sensitivity, his empathy, his kindness, and generosity, we were already young adults ourselves. But we will never forget his fierce commitment to fatherhood, working a difficult, physically demanding job in an electrical factory so that he could spend his free time gardening and evenings taking us to countless lessons in music, martial arts, sports leagues, and of course road trips and family vacations. We knew that his family always came first. But let's take a moment to remember his garden. His beautiful garden that both our mom and dad took so much joy in cultivating and growing. His beautiful landscape, fruit trees, and flowers were also something of a vision to be respected and admired. His strict disciplinary ways turned into metaphorical, poetic teachings, and in times where we needed Dad through difficult times, he was always there in his abstract yet loving way. He would greet us every morning and remind us to look alive, to take pride in ourselves, which he modeled through his perfect coiffed hair, his pristine ironed outfits, and his captivating smile. I remember when Adam and I started dating people, he often referred to this poem about not traveling through two rivers, which personified not dating more than one person at a time. This was probably directed to Adam, who inherited his charming appeal. In 2011, our dad suffered a stroke, which left him numb on his left side and on a feeding tube. His ability to swallow was compromised, and after months in the hospital, he became quite weak. But with the help of my mom's unwavering love and support, spending days and nights with him at the hospital, he recovered. Together, they found joy in new things like caring for Charlie, our family dog, never missing a Blue Jays or Raptors game, and babysitting their beloved grandchildren, Chloe, Charlotte, Clark, Caden, and Luna. They provided our children with a vast taste of the Filipino culture through experience, eating with our hands, rice, toyo, and banana, washing with the tabo, respect and mano to the elders were just a few things our kids have adopted, along with a slight Filipino accent and our love for the bukid. Our father experienced a number of health issues over the following years, but with Mom's encouragement and care, he never allowed these illnesses to take over his life. He never succumbed to being less than, but instead pushed through with change, as resilient and adaptable as he had always been, a force to be reckoned with, an inspiration to those that knew him and to everyone whose lives were touched by his passion for life and love. Our mother leaving us was probably the most painful pain Adam and I had ever experienced. It is much too difficult to imagine a world without Mom and Dad in it. So all we can do is find comfort that your love story will now once again be continued in the stars, that you are both reunited in the heavens without pain or struggle, and will continue to flourish in the most beautiful, angelic ways possible, just as you were here on earth. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the gift of life that you provided. Adam, Abby, Chris, myself, and our children, we are blessed, we are grateful, and we love you.